What do you mean by being kind to your insecure attachment? So, very recently, I posted on my Instagram around how you might be able to relate to this. Most of the people that I come across when it comes to insecure attachment and that doing the inner work find that at times, or a lot of the time, they feel frustrated, annoyed, and fed up with either like the patterns that they can see themselves defaulting to. So, whether that is avoiding dating altogether, or it's getting triggered, it's starting arguments, it's the protest behaviors, they feel frustrated about this and towards this. So, I am going to say it is understandable that you feel this way. It really is. It makes so much sense. You've been putting your all into healing, into self-help. You've read all the books, you're watching all of the videos. And still, when it comes down to your down to your day-to-day life, you're finding that you're falling into these patterns. So I do get it. However, what I often say is for every time you criticize yourself and you feel fed up towards yourself and you probably talk to yourself quite harshly as well, there's also something in you that is receiving that. Now, the anxiety that you experience, the avoidance that you experience, the low moods, the panic, the despair, that's coming from a wound. An anxious wound or an avoidant wound is coming from an experience that you have had. Now, if I was to put it really simply, and I'm not going to go into it at this point, we would say that there is something there that's basically stuck in the past. And that's why you go into this reactive state and then you beat yourself up and shame yourself about it. When the reality is that reaction is coming from somewhere. You have been through something. At one time in your life, this was to protect you, to support you. And I appreciate that that's not happening now, but at some point it was, which is why I like to give the message to be kind to your insecure attachment, to be kind to the anxious wound, the avoidant wound, the wound that is coming up in the moments when you feel activated and triggered and is in the driver's seat, even when you're acting out of character. We actually have to be kind to that. If we meet that with compassion, with calmness, with understanding, and with curiosity, we're actually more likely to do ourselves like real good when it comes to our healing. We're actually more likely to see the kind of results that we want when it comes to self-soothing and regulating and healing this for good. This is about listening and understanding these parts of you that feel insecure. It's not who you are. So we want to get to the root of this. And that's why I share this message. And a lot of the time, not all of the time, and to be honest with you, this isn't totally relevant because I really do believe whatever the age of this part of you that is essentially stuck, they all deserve compassion and understanding and hearing and to be heard and to be seen, all of the things that we need to move towards secure attachment. But a lot of them are younger parts, the inner child that we talk about. And the reason I share that is because sometimes, not always, we can get on board a little bit more with being kind to our inner child or to the idea of a younger part. That seems to be something we might be able to connect with, rather than being kind to ourselves right now. So meet your insecure attachment with curiosity, with compassion, and with a whole lot of love, because that is what is really needed. I hope that answers your question. It gives you a really good insight into what my private sessions and private containers look like, whether that's in my membership, which is called Follow Your Fire, that has people from all around the world that are healing attachment wounds. It covers three great bases: community, education, and embodiment practices, all one-to-one as well. So people that work with me one-to-one tend to be those that have been doing this work, this inner work, for quite a while and can now consciously see themselves falling back into patterns that you've been trying so hard to change. It's possible that there's just like one or two areas that you still feel really stuck around. So that tends to be the people that I work with one-to-one. I'll put all of the details in the bio. I hope you found that useful. Please like and subscribe. My understanding is that YouTube loves that, so we can get out there to people just like you and just like me. Do not forget, you're enough, you're lovable, you're so, so worthy, and you're irreplaceable.